If she pulls away, it's because she's figured you out. You've become predictable. You're an open book, and nobody obsesses over a book they've already read. Today, I destroy your excuses. Today, you become the architect of your own attraction. Or, you stay a puppet, a disposable toy. You decide. You're a prisoner, not of her, not of fate, but of your own needy mind. You ask yourself, why is she pulling away? Why is she ignoring me? And the answer is brutally simple, because she can. The greatest conquerors didn't sit around waiting for answers. They dictated the terms. Marcus Aurelius, Sun Tzu, Nietzsche, none of them cried for validation. You do. And that's why you lose. They sold you a lie. They told you that if you were nice, attentive, always present, you'd be loved. Reality is different. If you make yourself too easy to read, you don't spark desire. You spark pity. The men who create obsession don't beg for love. They provoke it. They don't chase. They make others chase them. If you reveal everything, you become a solved puzzle. You need to be a novel with missing pages. An unfinished story. This game isn't won by giving. It's won by holding back. Learn to disappear. Learn to plant doubt. Doubt is the fuel of desire. Attraction isn't a skill. It's a state of mind. When you truly understand that you don't need anyone, you become impossible to ignore. The weak react. The strong create the rules. And in this game, there are only two types of people: predators and prey. If you want to transform, you must destroy the weak version of yourself. There is no other option. Society wants you to be soft, obedient, compliant, but nature rewards the leaders, the mysterious, the untamed. So the only question left is this: do you have the guts to be reborn? Or will you keep being a pawn in someone else's game? If you want to truly understand this game, you have a choice. Live in the lie, or dig up the truth. Check the links in the description. But do it fast. Time doesn't wait for the weak. You were trained to be an emotional beggar. They told you that if you give everything, you'll get love in return. But reality, the more you try to please, the faster their interest disappears. Think about the great men of history. They weren't servile. They didn't wait for approval. They didn't seek validation. They became legends because they understood one simple truth: power belongs to the one who holds back, not the one who gives freely. Don't be an open book. Be a story with missing pages. Be an enigma no one can fully solve. Attraction isn't logical. It's visceral. It ignites when something challenges us, when we can't fully control it. The men who spark desire don't explain every move they make. They leave questions unanswered. If you want to take this mindset to the next level, click the link in the description. Get the books that will change how you see attraction and personal power. Don't wait. Knowledge is power, but only if you apply it. This is your wake-up call. What you do next is up to you. When a woman feels like she's figured you out, her mind pushes her to move on. She seeks the next thing, the unknown, the unexplored. And you? If you've become the predictable guy, the one who replies instantly, who bends over for a little attention, you've already lost. The only way out is to rebuild yourself from the inside out. To make someone obsessed with you, you must learn to disappear strategically. Not in some childish way, ignoring for the sake of ignoring, but as a master of mystery. Disappear to increase your value. To make them wonder where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. If you're always available, if you always respond immediately, you're sending a loud message to the world. I have nothing else in my life but this. And that kills attraction instantly. Start living for yourself. Not as a strategy, but because that's how greatness is lived. The world should revolve around you, not the other way around. Real confidence isn't an act. It's a consequence. It happens when your life is so full that you don't have time to beg for attention. Make them wonder, what's going on? Why didn't you reply immediately? Why do you seem so focused on something else? What is so important that it has your full attention? That uncertainty is pure gold in the game of attraction. The biggest mistake is thinking that love and attraction are the same. They are completely different beasts. Attraction is the engine of obsession. It's the hunger that makes someone chase you. But when you give everything up front, when you act like you've already been chosen before they've even chosen you, you kill the spark. Build an impenetrable mindset. You can't be a beggar for love if you want to be a master of attraction. You have to be the sun that planets revolve around, not a desperate satellite orbiting another celestial body. The only way to achieve this? Rewire your mind. Every time you feel the urge to seek approval, stop. Every time you feel the need to explain, justify, or ask, "Are you okay?" Remind yourself. The most attractive men don't seek security in others. They build it within themselves. If you keep the same mindset, you'll keep getting the same results. Today is the day you decide. Are you going to keep living as a pawn? Or will you become the king of the board? You decide. You're here because you're tired of being invisible. You wonder why some men walk into a room and the energy shifts, while you remain a shadow. It's not luck. It's control. Power isn't given. It's taken. And to take it, you must understand how attraction psychology works. And the brutal truth is this. The world respects men who respect themselves. If you've become someone who seeks validation, needs approval, fears rejection, you've already lost. Wake up. Take control. Become impossible to ignore. Aquí tienes la traducción en inglés americano, manteniendo el impacto y la naturalidad del mensaje. Look around you. How many times have you seen a guy who's nothing special, yet women chase him? It's not because of his looks. It's not because of his money. It's because of his presence, his magnetism, his command over space. While you're worrying about what she thinks of you, he's already decided how he feels about her. And that's the key. Seduction isn't about asking, "Does she like me?" It's about declaring, "I'm going to make her want me." Attraction doesn't come from compliance. It doesn't happen by being the guy who's always there, always available, always ready for anything. Attraction is born from conflict, from doubt, from mystery. If she knows exactly what you think, if she can predict your every move, you're already dead in her mind. Let me make this clear. This isn't about playing dumb games. This isn't about ignoring her just to ignore her. This is about being a storm she can't predict. It's about not giving her the certainty that she has you in the palm of her hand. It's about walking that razor-thin line between interest and indifference. And here comes the part you don't want to hear. She didn't pull away because she found someone better. She pulled away because you lost your mystery. You gave yourself away too fast. You laid all your cards on the table without letting her feel the excitement of discovering you. When she pulls away, the average guy panics. He starts asking questions. He starts chasing. He begs for answers. But the man who understands the game, he just smiles, because he knows the key is in the reaction. And the only right reaction is absolute coldness. Think about it this way. Humans want what they can't have. A woman's mind is a maze of emotions and contradictions. If she feels you're a sure thing, she loses interest. But if she feels she could lose you at any moment, desire ignites like an uncontrollable fire. So if you're wondering what to do when a woman pulls away, pull away even further. Disappear. Don't give her the drama she's expecting. Don't play her game. Make her feel your absence. Because in the void, in the uncertainty, in the doubt, that's where attraction is born. The biggest mistake you can make, acting out of neediness. A man with options never worries about just one woman. And here's the secret. It's not about having real options. It's about having the mindset that you do. Because when you act like a man who has alternatives, alternatives start showing up. You were conditioned to believe that love is about effort. That if you work hard enough, if you're good enough, she'll choose you. But seduction isn't a meritocracy. It's not a prize for good behavior. It's a psychological war. And the one who wins is the one who controls their emotions the best. Wake up. Control yourself. Control the game. And now comes the hard truth. Not every woman who pulls away will come back. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that when someone leaves, you don't let it shatter your perception of yourself. Because here's the reality. If a woman walks away and you remain the same powerful, centered man you were before, another will eventually be drawn to your energy. Are you going to keep making the same mistakes? Are you going to keep losing control over someone who, at this moment, isn't even thinking about you? The next time a woman pulls away, remember this. Attraction isn't about clinging. It's about creating a presence so strong that she can't forget you. Now get up. Break your patterns. Stop acting like your value depends on a woman's attention. Because the day you understand this is the day you stop chasing and start being chased. You've reached a point where you can no longer afford to be a spectator in your own life. You've convinced yourself that love is something you earn through effort. But here's the cold reality. Love and attraction aren't rewards. They're choices. And if you keep waiting to be chosen, you'll never be the one making the decisions. Look in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see a man who commands respect and admiration? Or do you see someone who spent his entire life adapting to other people's desires, waiting for validation and affection? If you don't like the answer, then today is the day everything changes. Because the only way to win this game is to become the man who doesn't need to win it. You've lived under the illusion that the more you give, the more you receive. But in the game of attraction, that's a fatal mistake. It's not about how much you give. It's about how much value the other person perceives in you. And the truth is, nobody values what's given without effort. Nobody chases what's always available. The key is to change your mindset. A scarcity mindset tells you to hold on tight, to believe there aren't many opportunities, that if you lose someone, you'll never find another like them. But an abundance mindset tells you the opposite, that you are the prize, that there are infinite options, that losing someone only makes room for something better. The average man panics when he feels like he's losing a woman. He starts searching for reasons, begging for explanations, trying to fix something that's already broken. But the man who understands the dynamics of power, he simply steps back. Not because he doesn't care, but because he knows power lies in indifference, in the ability to move forward without hesitation. If you're not strong enough to walk away, you'll never be strong enough to sustain someone's desire for you. Neediness is the enemy of attraction. It's why so many men lose the respect of the very people who once admired them. And it's why so many find themselves stuck in a cycle of failed relationships, repeating the same mistakes over and over again. It's time to break the cycle. Become the man who is impossible to ignore. It's time to stop reacting and start acting. The next time a woman starts pulling away, don't chase her. Don't look for answers. Don't try to justify her behavior. Instead, observe. Watch what she's doing and ask yourself, is this what I want for my life? Do I want to be with someone who has doubts about me? If the answer is no, then it's time to cut the cord. Not out of resentment, not out of anger, but with the certainty that a man who respects himself never begs for anyone's attention. And in that act of letting go, in that display of absolute independence, true attraction begins to rise. Magnetism doesn't come from words. It doesn't come from desperate gestures. It comes from self-mastery, from unshakable confidence, from the certainty that no matter who stays or who leaves, you will always be the same unstoppable man. From this day forward, Walk with the certainty that you don't need anyone to feel complete. It's not your job to convince anyone to see your value. Attraction isn't something you force. It's something you inspire. And when you finally internalize this, you'll notice a shift. Not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. Today is the day you stop being an option. Today is the day you become the only choice. The biggest mistake you can make in life is becoming a reflection of what others expect from you. If you've spent years trying to be the perfect man according to society's rules, today is the day you break those chains. No more seeking validation. No more waiting for approval. True power comes from autonomy, from knowing you don't need anyone's acceptance to be valuable. Every time you mold yourself to fit in, you weaken yourself. And weakness isn't attractive. Weakness is repellent. Look at the men who dominate the game of attraction. They're not the ones trying to please everyone. They're the ones who stay true to themselves. They understand that attraction isn't about being overly nice or accommodating. It's about independence. It's about emotional control. It's about walking through life without the fear of loss. Most men fail in their relationships because they become predictable. They make themselves too available. They give too much without being asked. They emotionally disarm themselves at someone else's feet. And when they do, their value drops. Because what is easy to obtain is easy to forget. Today, I challenge you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a man who commands respect? Or am I just someone who wants to be liked? Because if it's the second one, you're trapped in emotional mediocrity. Being desired isn't about being the nicest, the most attentive, or the most available. It's about being untouchable. It's about being a mystery not just anyone can solve. Step up. Become the man they can't ignore. If this resonates with you, it's time to take the first step. If you truly want to become the man you've always known you can be, start applying these principles right now. And if you're really committed to this transformation, check the link in the description. There, you'll find the book that will change the way you see relationships, attraction, and personal power. Don't wait. Knowledge is power, but only if you apply it. Want more content to help you master this mindset? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Don't miss a single video that could change your life. Share this message with someone who needs to wake up and take control. See you in the next video. When a man respects himself, his energy shifts. People can feel it. His presence is undeniable. He's not someone who chases. He's someone who attracts. Because his value doesn't come from external validation. It comes from his internal conviction. The problem: you were trained to be docile. They told you that you need to be the perfect man to be loved. But here's the truth. What actually works is the opposite. Attraction is instinctive, not logical. It ignites when there's tension, when there's uncertainty. If she knows you'll always be there, she'll get bored. If she feels like she could lose you at any moment, she won't be able to get you out of her mind. Think of a lion. A lion doesn't ask permission to take his place in the jungle. He doesn't seek approval. He just is. His energy speaks for itself. That's exactly how you need to be. A man who moves with confidence, without fear of loss. Because he knows. He never really loses. If someone walks away from you, let them go. Don't beg for love. Don't cling to what's not meant to stay. The paradox is this. When you learn to let go, everything comes back to you. When you're not dependent, you become the center of attention. Because real desire is born in absence, in uncertainty, in the feeling that not just anyone can have you. Today is the day you free yourself from neediness. Today is the day you decide to be a man who chooses, not a man who waits to be chosen. And when you make this shift, when you finally realize that power lies in autonomy, you'll see the world reshape itself in your favor. Stop seeking approval. Stop explaining your value. Just become someone impossible to ignore. True strength isn't shown in words. It's shown in your ability to maintain absolute control over yourself. If there's one thing that kills attraction faster than neediness, it's lack of self-control. A man who lets his emotions control him, who reacts with desperation, who becomes a slave to his anxiety, is a man destined to be forgotten. Rise above. Master yourself. Become unforgettable. Ask yourself this: do you want to be the one who begs or the one who chooses? The difference between men who are pursued and men who chase lies in their level of control. The man who has it all figured out doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't plead. He simply moves forward. It's the energy of a man with a full life, a man with a mission, a man with direction. Attraction isn't just chemistry, it's perception. If she feels you're not desperate, if she senses you have options, if she sees that you don't need her approval to feel valuable, that's when her mind locks onto you. Think of a king. A king doesn't sit on his throne waiting for his kingdom's approval. He doesn't seek validation. He just is, with a natural authority that isn't up for negotiation. That's exactly how you need to see yourself. Your life, your actions, your energy should reflect that unshakable confidence. And when you do, the world aligns in your favor. The opposite is also true. If you become dependent, if you wait for someone else to validate you, if you give your power away, you become a secondary character in someone else's story. And there is nothing more pathetic than being an extra in someone else's movie. People respond to leadership energy. It's a universal principle. In every interaction, there's a leader and a follower. If you're not leading, you're following. And if you're following, you've already lost. When you have control over yourself, you stop chasing and start attracting. Why? Because the absence of need is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to what seems hard to obtain. This isn't about playing games. It's about being real. It's about building a mindset that can't be shaken. Because when a woman sees that you're stable, that you don't break under rejection, that you don't change your essence out of fear of losing her, she senses something different in you. Most men don't get this. They sell themselves too fast. They give themselves away too easily. And then they wonder why women lose interest. But you already know the answer. Predictability kills attraction. The absence of mystery makes you disposable. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop acting like a beggar for love and start moving like a man who chooses, not a man waiting to be chosen. The key is in how you think, in how you see yourself. When you truly believe you're the prize, the world will start seeing you that way too. There's no going back. Either you take control of your life and your value, or you keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. The choice is yours, and if you choose the right path, you'll become a man who is impossible to ignore. Own it. Become unstoppable. A man's power isn't measured by his words, but by his ability to walk through uncertainty without losing his balance. If there's one thing that separates those who dominate from those who are dominated, it's their relationship with doubt. The average man seeks certainty, security, guarantees. But the man who truly understands attraction knows that mystery is his greatest ally. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to be completely accessible. You don't have to be constantly available. Constant presence kills curiosity. And without curiosity, attraction fades. When was the last time you felt a burning desire for something that was always there, waiting for you, never challenging you? Never. Because desire grows in absence, in uncertainty, in challenge. A man who knows his value doesn't try to convince anyone. He doesn't try to prove he's worthy of being chosen. He simply is. And that's where real strength lies. Neediness is the death of magnetism. Desperation is the final nail in the coffin of attraction. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being a man with a life so full, so focused, so driven, that he simply doesn't have time to be constantly available. When someone realizes that your attention isn't easy to obtain, they automatically start valuing it more. Think of the greatest leaders in history. They never rushed to explain themselves. They didn't try to be understood by everyone. They knew their time and energy were valuable, and they acted accordingly. The same applies to seduction. You don't need to justify yourself. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep moving forward, and let others wonder what your next move will be. People don't value what's predictable. They don't desire what doesn't challenge them. If you give too much, if you're always present, if you're completely transparent, you kill the game before it even starts. Attraction is tension, and tension comes from mystery, from the feeling that there's always more to discover. Most men get this wrong. They believe that being nice, attentive, and always available is the key to winning a woman's interest. But it's not. What truly sparks attraction is the feeling of being in the presence of a man with purpose, with vision, with a clear path to follow. And that's not achieved by chasing. It's achieved by leading. Starting today, stop justifying yourself. Stop giving unnecessary explanations. Stop being available 24/7. Start acting like a man whose world is bigger than any one relationship. Because here's the truth. Men who are pursued don't try to be pursued. They're simply too unattainable because they're too busy conquering their own destiny. If you can do this, something incredible happens. The dynamics begin to shift. People start valuing you more. Attraction grows. Because in the human mind, what's difficult to obtain is always more valuable than what's given away freely. Take control. Become the man who cannot be ignored. Today you decide. Will you remain a disposable option? Or will you become the choice that's impossible to ignore? Your value isn't in what you say. It's in how you carry yourself. It's not the man who talks the most that commands a room. It's the man who knows when to stay silent. Strength isn't about proving yourself. It's about being secure enough that you don't need to. Once you understand this, your perception shifts. And more importantly, the way others perceive you changes too. Attraction is a subtle dance between desire and uncertainty. The human mind is naturally curious. It craves what it doesn't fully understand. It desires what it can't completely possess. That's where your power lies. A man who reveals himself too quickly loses intrigue. But the one who leaves breadcrumbs, who shows just enough to spark curiosity, becomes unforgettable. You were programmed to believe that love and attraction come from sacrifice. That if you give everything, if you're always there, if you're unconditional, you'll be valued. But reality, people don't cherish what comes without effort. Scarcity creates value. It's the law of economics. And it's the law of human relationships. If you've spent your life trying to please, waiting to be chosen because you're the most available, the most willing, the one who never says no, today is the day you change your strategy. Because that path, it doesn't work, and you know it. The only way to spark genuine desire is to become a man who isn't easy to figure out. A man not everyone can have. This isn't about ignoring people or playing games. It's about building a life so full, so compelling, that you don't depend on anyone to feel complete. It's about filling your mind and your time with things that elevate you, with projects that drive you, with goals that challenge you. Because when that happens, you automatically project a magnetic energy, an aura of purpose that is impossible to ignore. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you were a mystery to someone? When was the last time someone felt the urge to understand you beyond the surface? If you can't remember, it's because you've been too available, too open, too predictable. That has to change, right now. Starting today, every word you speak, every action you take, every decision you make, must be aligned with your purpose. Don't beg for attention. Don't try to impress. Just be. Do what you love. Get better every day. Keep moving forward. Because a man who's on a mission doesn't have time to seek validation, and that's what makes others follow him. If this resonates with you, if you truly want to become the man you've always known you can be, take the first step. Start applying these principles right now. And if you're serious about this transformation, check the link in the description. That's where you'll find the book that will change the way you see relationships, attraction, and personal power. Don't wait, because knowledge is power, but only if you use it. The path of transformation isn't for everyone. Not everyone has the courage to break free from their old beliefs, to abandon the scarcity mindset and embrace the power of independence. But you are not just anyone. If you've made it this far, it's because you're ready to leave behind the weaker version of yourself and adopt the mindset of an unstoppable man. The biggest enemy of attraction isn't rejection, it's complacency. It's the belief that you must mold yourself to others' expectations, instead of being the architect of your own identity. The man who adapts too quickly loses his essence. And when you lose your essence, you lose respect from others and, more importantly, from yourself. Starting today, stop acting like you need someone else's validation to feel whole. Walk with the certainty that you are enough, because you are. Confidence isn't built on external approval. It's forged in the internal certainty that you don't need anyone's permission to know your worth. Attraction is a game of perception. It's not about what you say, it's about what you project. If you see yourself as valuable, others will see you that way too. If you act like just another option, you'll be treated like one. But if you position yourself as the prize, as someone whose attention is a privilege, the entire dynamic shifts in your favor. A man who controls his energy controls his destiny. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. It doesn't matter how many times you've been rejected. It doesn't matter how many times you felt like you weren't enough. None of that defines who you are now. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do from this moment forward. Cut off the neediness. Cut off the anxiety of wanting to be liked. Cut off the desperation of wanting to be chosen. Instead, start choosing. Start deciding who gets access to your energy. Who deserves your time? Who is actually worthy of your presence? Because when you do this, attraction stops being a problem. It becomes a natural consequence of your authenticity. You've reached the end of this road. But in reality, this is only the beginning. Now, it's up to you to take what you've learned and apply it to your life. Because knowledge without action is worthless. If you want to become a man who's impossible to ignore, start now. And here's your next step. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Don't let this just be another piece of content you consume and forget. Make it a tool for transformation. Every video we release is designed to help you evolve, build an unbreakable mindset, and take control of your life. Click the link in the description and get the book that will give you the ultimate keys to understanding and applying everything we've talked about here. Don't wait. The time is now. See you in the next video.